Hello. In the next few minutes we'd like to give you a brief tour of the history of First Baptist Church. But did you know that the history begins in Portland, Connecticut? In 1959, 50 years ago, 2 Army lieutenants and their wives began a Bible study, and soon they began to meet for worship. There were 7 in attendance.
Then about a year later, the church moved to the Hartford YMCA. The church had grown to 30 members and called their first pastor. They constituted on August 26, 1961 as Hartford Baptist Church with 51 charter members.
Soon after this, the congregation moved again, this time to the East Hartford YMCA, and they continued to grow. And in 1966, however, they faced a crisis and almost ran out of money. But with the help of the Home Mission Board, which we now call the North American Mission Board, that crisis was averted.
Amazingly, 2 years later, the church completed construction of its first building. On October 19, 1968, the First Baptist Church of East Hartford was dedicated and the first church services held. I actually went here when I was a kid, and this building on Main Street in East Hartford, close to the Glastonbury line, as you can see, is now a hair salon and a kitchen supply store. 15 years after moving into their first building, the congregation ran out of room and moved into the present location in Manchester, Connecticut. On January 1st, 1983, the first worship services were held here, and the church name was officially changed to the First Baptist Church of Manchester, Connecticut.
Then in 2004, our present worship center, where you are right now, was dedicated. And finally, in 2007, the entire project, including the gathering space and the additional classrooms, was dedicated and is now being used. That is a brief description of the history of First Baptist Church, but really it doesn't even begin to tell the story of what God has been doing over those 50 years. Hundreds, if not thousands of people have come to know Jesus Christ personally, been baptized and discipled. Then they became servants themselves. Thousands of missionaries have been supported by the congregation of this church, and as an extension of the congregation have shared the gospel with people all over the world. And being the first Southern Baptist church in Connecticut, well, we've sponsored many of the churches that exist today, like Friendship Baptist Church in Litchfield, Candlewood Baptist Church in Danbury, First Polish Baptist Church in New Britain, Columbia Baptist Fellowship in Columbia, Connecticut, Primera Iglesia Baptista in Hartford, and many others. And we also were the first church in Connecticut to sponsor a Spanish mission and a deaf mission. And the history of what God is doing at First Baptist Church is still being written today. I'm convinced that the legacy of the things that the people before us have done is a foundation for you and I to build on today and in the future. There's many spiritual needs, many physical needs all around us in the communities that we live in. As Jesus said, the fields are white unto harvest. I'm convinced that if you and I will make a commitment to serve and love the one who served and loved us supremely, that there will be many chapters to be written of God's work here at First Baptist Church of Manchester. To God be the glory.